All right, so now we're done. Let's go ahead and move on. I think you said you have one more. So let's see what you got going on. All right, algebra. Okay. This one, a a little bit harder than the rest of them. 9.5 over x plus 4 is greater than or less than 4x plus 3. All right, so let's hop on that. All right, so it's going to be 2 minus parentheses 1.5 times x plus 4 is less than 4x plus 3. Okay, so let's go to the whiteboard again and try and figure this out. We'll clear this. All right, so this one's going to be a long one. So let's start out here in the corner, the left hand. So, check this out. Minus 9 plus 4 all right, so this is an algebra equation, right? Now, when we see the greater than or less than signs, and we're talking about algebra, the first step is that we always have to identify that it pretty much is the same as an equals. All right, so in this case, since it's an algebraic equation, we're trying to solve for x. So we're going to treat in this case, the less than sign as an equal sign. Now, unless we divide or multiply by a negative, that sign is going to change. That's the only big difference that we see when we're using a greater than or less than. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on this. So let's go ahead and also let's pop up our PEMDAS. PEMDAS, just in case we forget. All right. So right here we're trying to, our first thing is parentheses. So we're gonna look for the parentheses, which right now we have 9/2 and x plus 4, and we're gonna multiply them. All right, so let's go ahead and multiply that. So let's do 9. So let's do 9, and then we'll do 9 times 4. All right. So the first one is going to be 9x. And then 9 times 4, it's going to be, should be 36. Just make sure. 9 times 6 equals, sorry, 9 times 4, 36. This would be plus 36, right? And then we put everything under 2. And then let's not forget about our negative 2. And then we'll keep the sign for x plus 3, right? Questions? No, so in this case, we've simplified the equation, and now we can keep going. Now we still have parentheses, right? So we still keep prioritizing the parentheses. So let's go ahead and do that. So Let's divide the 2 into the 9. So we'll just leave it 9x divided by 2. Again, the parentheses minus 2. And then 2 divided by 36 should be 18. Let's make sure. 36 divided by 2 equals, yep, 18. So it's going to be plus 18. Right, so whole, since it went in evenly, it's going to be a whole number now. And again, let's write down what we got left, 4x plus 3. All right, so again, our objective is to isolate the x. So we're going to keep on working this equation. Now in the parentheses, we can no longer do anything to it. So now we're going to start going ahead and start multiplying. All right, so let's go ahead and multiply the number, now we're going to multiply the negative. That's here, so we're going to distributive property. We're going to multiply up to both of them. All right, so in this case, we're going to be left off with negative 9x over 2 minus 18. Now, since we left the 2, it's going to be plus 2 is less than 4x plus 3. That's a plus, by the way. All right. So let me write that down because we're running out of space. So it's 9x 2 minus 18. All right, so I'm gonna clear this. We're good. Do you have any questions, by the way? I said always whenever I'm doing math, feel free to stop me, all right? Clear the drawings. All right, so let's redo the problem. So it's gonna be 2 plus 9x over 2 minus 18 is less than 4x plus 3. All right, now that we have this, we have to look for the, let's write the PEMDAS. PEMDAS. All right. Now that we have this equation, now we have common integers, right? So in this case, we can do 2 minus 18, and that'll leave us right here. These are common. So let's do 2 minus 18. So that's going to leave us with negative 16. So our next expression is going to be 9x2 minus 16 is it's greater than or equal to 4x plus 3. All right, now again, we're trying to isolate that x. So the next step would be, in this case, would be to add the 16, because I'm gonna isolate the x on the left side, right? So I'm gonna do 16, add 16. Now we're left with 9/2, negative 9/2 x is less than 4x plus 3, which is 4x is, so right here, it's going to be 19, right? 3 plus 16 is 19, so we're going to be left with 4x plus 19. Now we're almost there, right? We're almost there. So now we got to do subtract the 4x because we're trying to, now we have 4x. I'm trying to get myself. So let's go ahead and subtract the 4x. And now we're left with negative, sorry, we're left with, let's see if we can, let's bring this over here. So now we're left with let's just write it down and then we'll start again. Any questions? Look for 9x over 2 is less than 4x plus 19. All right, so let's clear it. Let's write that out again. 9 is 2 is equal to 4x plus 19 plus 19. All right, so we're trying to isolate that. Sorry, it's less than here. Let's erase this. It's less than. So let's go ahead and so now we're gonna isolate. I've decided to isolate my x on the left side. Let's go ahead and isolate it for x, right? And now we're gonna subtract 9x over 2. So let's see how that looks. It's gonna be 9 2x minus. Now remember that whole numbers always have a 1 under them, so that we can subtract fraction. In this case, because we do have a fraction to our left, we're gonna have to put it in the fraction form, right? So it's gonna be, so minus 4 over 1, sorry, 4 over 1 x is equal to less than 19. Right now, in this case, like always, we have to find the common denominator. Sorry. In this case, let's make that, let's solve that quickly. So the common denominator would be 2, the closest one. So let's do 2 and 2, multiply that. So that's going to turn it into 8 over 2x minus 9 half x again is less than 19. Right? Now -9 minus -8, pretty much we're adding them in the negative way. So that's going to be -17. So you're left, so let's bring it over here. You're left with -17 where 2x is less than 19. So we're almost there, but not quite there yet. So again, what's our mission here? To isolate the x, right? So when we're trying to take away, when we're trying to isolate the x here, we have to do a reciprocal, right? The reciprocal of the, multiply the reciprocal and bring it over to the right side. So in this case, the reciprocal of -17 over 2 is going to be 2 over -17. So let's do that. Let me see how I can write that. So we're going to multiply them, right? We're going to multiply them. It's going to be 2 over -17, right? And now we're left. Oh, and then again, so since we're multiplying a negative, what's that going to do to the left-hand side? Perfect. It's going to change it to greater than. And now we're left with -2, sorry. Let's go back to the, now we're left with, let me see, 217 times 19 over 1, right? So x is less than, there's your calculator, 2 times 19, 2 times 19 is 38. So it could be -38 over 17 times 1, 17. So this would be our final answer. X is greater than -38 over 17. That was I see why you struggled on this. It's tedious, but you have to hang in there and make sure you're respecting everything you learned. The addition of fractions, the distributive property, the reciprocal. So in this case, you really have to pay attention to all these laws or all these theories that you learned in the past, all right? But that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions? All right. I don't know if there's more like this, but if there are, we can go ahead and look at them and work on them as well. Okay. But that's pretty much it for right now. All right, Carl. Thank you for it was good. You did a good job today, and thank you for having me. And we'll keep on working on this. Like I said, I know math is like a skill. The more you practice it, the better you get on it. So nobody's born learning math, right? The more effort and the more time, the more patience you're with it, the better you'll get on math. All right. And again, if you have any questions, always feel free to let me know. We can work on the questions together. But thanks for having me, and have a good day.